Evening. Once again, welcome. I'm Apostle Robert Summers. This is my wife, Dixie Summers, and those of you that are joining us on GoToMeeting, you guys have been with us for a while. You know how this works. So if you have a question, just raise your hand on the GoToTraining panel, or if you'd like to go ahead and just put your comments in there on the chat screen, that's fine. And then, of course, we're very delighted to also welcome our YouTube subscribers. Those of you that have subscribed to our channel, we certainly appreciate it. We've had a tremendous amount, literally hundreds of comments and questions on the different topics that we're talking about, and we thank God for you. Just real quick, if you'd like to support this YouTube channel, please, right over here, you see a support button. Go ahead and click that, and you'll be able to support this channel. Those of you that are joining us here today on GoToTraining, at the end, you will receive a link for providing any type of donation that the Lord puts on your heart to help us further in ministry. Okay, well, with that being said, let's go right into this. Today, what we're going to talk about is Jezebel's drama and narcissistic chaos. Jezebel's drama and narcissistic chaos. And one of the things that I have found over the years is that without chaos and without drama, Jezebel, that narcissistic personality type, has absolutely no cover. They have to have drama, chaos, and scandal to basically operate. In order to be effective in what they do, they have to have drama and chaos. And it's important that you understand this, okay? Because if you're going to understand how this spirit operates in people, how the narcissist operates, you need to know that to the narcissistic personality type, Jezebel, this is all a big game. Okay, it's one big game that they're playing. And in this game is a theatrical event. Jezebel, the narcissist, is the producer, is the director, and the leading actor in this particular game. And what it's all designed about, or around, I should say, is that they play the role of the abuser. They are the controller. They are the one that looks to control, and they look to bring you into this dramatic event, okay, and have you to play the role of the victim. You are the target. You are the one that they're looking to attack and bring you into this thing. Jezebel, if you look throughout Scripture, Jezebel was a notorious drama queen. The narcissist acts as if they are a chameleon type lizard. You know, a chameleon can change different colors, green, really kind of adapt to the environment, green if they're in green environment, brown, and so on. And if you put those both together, when you put those both together, what you end up having is you actually have what we use as a term called shape-shifting. The shape-shifter, okay, now the shape-shifter is one that looks one way one minute and another way the next minute. How many times have you come across people that it's like a Jekyll and Hyde type thing? 1 minute they're this way, the next minute this way. And that's what we see happening with the narcissistic personality type, is they appear to be loving, they appear to be kind to a lot of different people, really to those specifically out in the fringe or, you know, outside. But the closer you get to them, or if you catch them in a situation, they are very inflammatory, very accusative, very abusive, mean, and you're looking like, I never knew that person was like that. Again, that's because everything is a dramatic event, and they try to play the part, okay, and cover everything up, but they will shapeshift on you. They'll do it accidentally because they don't want to be caught, or they will even do it intentionally, and they do this intentionally really to just confuse you, because you're thinking, especially when you initially start in a relationship, everything's looking really good and all this other stuff, and all of a sudden they shapeshift on you, and now it's like, wait a minute, you're not the same person I was talking to last week. You're not the same person that I married, okay? was a shape-shifting type thing. And again, it's all around chaos. It's all surrounded by drama, and all of this drama is designed to lure you in, to draw you in to Jezebel's and the narcissist drama. The more that spirit, the more that the narcissist can pull you into drama and chaotic type events, the more that you're going to find yourself tormented, and the more you are in the control of the narcissist or the Jezebel spirit. Because remember, to the narcissist, to that Jezebelically bound person, it's all about control. It's about controlling everything. It's about controlling your day. It's about controlling the situation. It's about controlling the conversation. It's about controlling the finances. It's about controlling the relationship. It's about controlling your life. And the drama, and you're going to see as we talk about this tonight, you're going to say, wow, I know people like that. People in your family. Sometimes you may say, man, that's my spouse to the T. That's my children, okay? Specifically my adult children. That's my mom. That's my dad. That's people I know. That's church, people in the church, okay? And again, what it is it's the Jezebelic narcissist will create drama, and that drama is really just a smoke and mirror type of event, okay? It's smoke and mirrors. In other words, the life that they're living, the things they're doing it's drama. It's a theatrical performance. But it has an intention to bring smoke and mirrors to where what is real you don't see. You actually end up seeing an illusion. And it's an illusion surrounded by lies, surrounded by, it's psychotic. And what it will do, it will actually, as it's controlled you, it will have you to begin to think that you're crazy. Mm-hmm. Now, this is, sweetheart, dangerous, because people get into relationships, friendships, marriages, churches, business partnerships, okay, and so on. And again, things start out real well, and all of a sudden now events start popping up. Chaotic events, and it's like, and it becomes repetitious. I mean, at first glance, initially it's like, it's no big deal. But then all of a sudden it's like, why is all this happening? Why is there always an event? Why is there always scandal? Why is there always an issue? Why is it always dramatic? Why do we have to go through this? And it begins to wear you down. It begins to wear down you in that relationship with that person, to where you're like, you basically just want to get away. And again, this is designed to frustrate you. That's what Jezebel wants to do. That's what the narcissist wants to do. It wants to frustrate you and have you weary, and you want to give up. That's the pattern of this Jezebelic spirit. Okay? Now, a narcissist, now hear me clearly, a narcissist, or again, we're using narcissist and the person bound by a Jezebel spirit, it will always have you firefighting, okay? It will always have you trying to put a fire out here and a fire out there. So you have to be very careful for people that you connect with. And if there's a pattern that every time that their name comes up, or every time you engage with them, that there's always a fire to put out. And when you go to put out the fire, at least you think you're putting out the fire, but you're really not putting out the fire. All you're doing is just playing your part in the theatrical event. Right. Okay. Right. You're really not putting out fire, because there's always going to be another fire. The narcissist Jezebel is so sick, so insidious, that it takes pleasure in instigating things for you to firefight, only to sit back and watch you spin your tail, okay, spin your head around, get frustrated, get discouraged, Like I said, it's designed to wear you down to where you just want to say, I'm done. I'm done with this business. I'm done with this church. I'm done with that. I'm done with this person. And it really just kind of throw your hands up and say, I'm finished.
It's like a diversion. It
Excellent.
it's showing you this over here so that you don't stay focused on what God has for you. So you end up looking at that, trying, like you said, firefighting that. When that is there's nothing. That whole situation is to keep you off track, to keep you from looking at what you should be doing and what God has for you to do. So it's so diabolical, because you're there and you're really thinking that you're actually taking care of something when there is nothing that is going to bring any fruit from what you're doing. And the thing that is bringing fruit is what you should keep your eyes on and keep your heart towards, is what God has for you to do. But it makes this thing seem so important, almost like when you have an emergency, like you got to go take care of this,
right.
Because she always comes in a way that this is like life and death. This is when all she's bringing is death.
Yeah.
There's no life in it. But if you think that there's life and you turn to try to bring life to that situation, and there's nothing there to bring life to,
right.
Nothing there to bring fruit to. So it's really diabolical.
I like that word that you use, divert you. And that's what this spirit is. It's a diverting type spirit. God is having you to do something, or you have a task, you have a goal, you have something that you have to do. This spirit operated people that we're calling narcissistic personality disordered people, what ends up happening is, as they have created that relationship with you, that bond, again, husband, wife, children, friends, whatever, then what it ends up doing is this fire takes you off of what you're supposed to be doing and puts you over here. Now, again, you have to think in terms of, it's a theatrical performance. It is an event, and it's designed to have you exert a tremendous amount of energy, a tremendous amount of money. It will steal your money. It will steal your time. And it's looking to falsely put in you what we call a fixer spirit.
And the part where it steals your time is really the biggest thing, because you can recoup the money, that it tries to steal, but the time that you put into it can't be recouped. And this is what is so dangerous, because the time you should be allotting and putting into something that God has for you to do, you put no time in that because you're so busy in this time. So they set up situations. They set up, like my husband says, smoking mirrors. And that's an old term they use for magicians, where the magician would have smoke and use mirrors to divert you from what he really was doing. So you're looking at that, so you don't look at the reality, and it's so cruel, because it is nothing but a trick. There's no substance to what they're doing. It is for the mere fact of getting you to believe something that's true that really isn't true, and to deal with situations that are not situations you even need to deal with. We are not to deal with every situation that comes up, but this spirit makes you believe that you are supposed to deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, then you are in some way not being like God wants you to be, not fulfilling what God wants you. It'll even use you don't love me. You're not doing this because you don't love me. And then you're thinking, okay, well, I love you. Well, if you love me, you'll do this.
Right.
When love is not contingent on us just giving self appetites. If that's not what love is, I'm going to appease and give you what your appetite is requiring, or what your appetite wants, what your fleshy desire wants. That's not what God's love is there for.
Right.
But this spirit will have you, trying to jump over hoops and jump over everything to try to make them feel like they're loved,
right,
when it has nothing to do with love. It is all to gain your time and your attention.
That's right. And all this firefighting that you're doing, you're going to be doing it. Yeah, it's going to exhaust you.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to wear you down. You're going to be over here fighting a fire, and then you're going to be over there fighting a fire. You'll think that you actually addressed the fire over here,
Mm-hmm.
and it simmered down, and that's all it did is it simmered down, but it's not out. It's still kindling. There's still smoke there, and that old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. It will reignite. That's what happens. Fire here. We have seen this in our life. How many times have we fire fought
Mm-hmm.
in areas that we knew we should not have been? And what it's ended up doing is we fought in those areas, and it's reassigned us to do something that we were not called to do.
It takes your attention
Yes.
away from what God has for you to do, and now your attention is on doing what it wants you to do. So instead of you staying focused on what God has for you to do and staying focused on your destiny and walking out what God has, you're here trying to firefight this situation, and it is taking your time, and you're exhausted when you finish. So even if you redirect to do what God's told you, you're exhausted from all of the energy you put in this thing that has been over here that Jezebel has started, and that's the whole purpose, is to get you to do these things and be involved in it,
Mm-hmm.
and not be involved in what God has for you to do. And then what this spirit will do is, if you go and you direct and say, you know what, I was dealing with this, and that wasn't God. And that spirit will have the nerve to say to you, well, you should have been doing what God told you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Why were you doing that?
Exactly.
You should have obeyed the word.
Yeah.
And now here it heaps on the condemnation and the guilt, because now you begin to feel guilty. Well, I thought I was, helping, and I thought I was doing this, when all it was doing was keeping you from doing what God had you do. And it is excited about the fact that you were off your course, that you were targeting your energy, your love, your time to something that it knew was not going to produce anything. So, and that really is kind of hard on the person, because it really makes the person who's being controlled stay in this yo-yo type of relationship, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it is so hard for a person to break from that, because it uses the guilt, and then I need you, the guilt, and then I need you type of a tool
Mm-hmm.
to keep you bound and keep you from walking out what you need to walk out as God's child.
Precisely. That's that narcissistic supply, that yo-yo, that up down, that push pull. It's up down. It's it again. I'm using the term, firefighting. There's a constant firefight somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, this chaos of the narcissist, or the Jezebelic narcissist, the drama of the Jezebelic narcissist is designed. Remember, this is their script, not yours.
Right.
You didn't write this script. This is Jezebel's script, and you will dance to her song.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, it's all about control.
Right.
It's all about having you do her bidding. That's what the spirit of Jezebel throughout the Bible always did. It was always about her.
Right.
It was always about following after her ways.
Right.
The name Jezebel means without cohabitation.
Right.
In other words, I'm not going to share anything with anybody. It's all
right.
about me. Mm-hmm. This is why the narcissistic personality, Jezebel spirit, one and the same. One is the outward manifestation of a spiritual inward problem. And what it does is, let's say you're a person, and for example, we just turned the calendar, it's 2017. You have goals, or you have goals, you have objectives, perhaps you have a vision to accomplish things. The narcissist will always have trouble brewing somewhere, because you're not going to spend time in your goals.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to, all those objectives you had and things that you planned on doing, which are good things,
Mm-hmm.
all the things God told you to do, all the dreams and visions that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me clearly. The narcissistic Jezebel is going to make certain that you do not get it done. You'll spend decades wasting time trying to put out her fires. Now, it's going to look as though those fires have nothing to do with her, because that spirit is a great detractor, deflector. It's going to deflect into another way. That spirit is an arsonist. It will start the fire, run and watch it, but then when the investigation takes place, they have nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, what they will typically do, watch this now, is they would either blame someone else or, more than likely, blame you. Right. They're going to blame you that the reason this fire took place is because of something you did or you did not do. Right. Okay?
So it keeps you in a place where you're, like I say, yo-yo, you're like, you're not sure, like, okay, well, I need to do that because that seems like it needs my attention, but then I really need to do this, and it is so, it's just so evil.
Yeah.
And what's even, I think the hardest is when you have a narcissistic spouse, whether it be a wife or husband, because, especially if it is a husband. And we always talk about Jezebel. Remember, it's gender neutral. This is a spirit, and so it can be, men can have that spirit, and you're the wife is trying to help her husband, and it's hard because now it becomes to where all her time is focused on helping him, and none of her time is focused on doing what she needs to do for the Lord, because it's never enough. It's never good enough. And even if you do it, then it's like, well, if you did it that way, you should have did it this way. So it's always the game playing and the role shifting, because it will never let you have fruit, because there's no fruit in it.
Right.
It is evil, and the only there is a work that's involved in it, as in anything that is diabolical and that's of the enemy. It is to give you a wage for working.
Right.
It is not any fruit from it.
Right. Let's use what Dixie just said about a husband that is a narcissist Jezebel, and they're married, and now all of a sudden she has things that she needs to do. Okay, she wants to do, and let's just say, for example, she wants to get her hair done, she wants to get her nails done, she wants to go and take care of things that a woman likes to do. Okay. Maybe buy a dress, go shopping, make herself look very pretty. What the narcissist Jezebel will do is start a fire to force her, through manipulation and control, to go and work over there, denying herself to where she doesn't take care of herself. Then the narcissist will now blame her for not taking care of herself. Okay, and begin to say something like, I come home from work, you don't have anything done. Look at the way you look. Your hair is not done. Your nails are messed up. You didn't, whatever, pedicures and manicures and all that stuff. I'm using this as an example. The narcissist will now hammer the wife, looking to belittle her, looking to manipulate and control her, and getting her to remain in a position of servant to that husband,
instead of what the relationship should be. And a husband and wife relationship should be that each person should be reflecting Jesus to the other person. So and the love of God. So when you look at the husband, he should be showing you the love of God. But instead, if he's got the spirit operating in him, he just shows you that you could never do anything. You can never, nothing's ever good enough, and then that you don't even deserve to be loved. You don't deserve to have, just like my husband was saying, you don't deserve to take care of yourself. What do you mean take care of yourself? You shouldn't be taking care of yourself. You should give everything you got away. But now, granted, or they're telling you to not do anything for yourself. Everything is consumed with them. Everything is spent on themselves. Yeah. So it's not showing you the Spirit of God. It's a way that it's almost like like baiting you, instead of I'm looking like Jesus, I'm loving you like the Lord, I'm preferring you and not myself. they'll make you feel bad that you should be preferring them while they're not preferring anybody but themselves.
Exactly. Now, all this is designed to sabotage.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is all designed to sabotage you, the husband or wife, the parent, the child, the adult child, you know, the pastor, the people, whoever the target is. It's designed to sabotage your life and everything about it, and everything you put your hands to do.
Absolutely.
Let me give you some. Let's kind of give you some examples of how this thing can work, and let me give you one, for example, in a church. Okay, in a church, you know, where people volunteer for things. The narcissistic personality, the Jezebel, is notorious for volunteering for things, okay, because they want to be in a position of control. And let's just say that, for example, responsibility has been given to a person, and they accept that responsibility, they accept that particular task. And let's just say, you know, it could be anything from opening the church, cleaning the church, perhaps, you know, teaching a class, picking somebody up, working in the nursery, whatever it may be. Understand this, a narcissist, although they accept the responsibility and the task, it's nothing more than a game. And remember, they're looking to create a chaotic event. They're looking to bring drama. So by having involvement in your life, by having involvement in your business, in this case, by having involvement in a church or ministry, what they will do is they will fail intentionally that assignment. They will not do that assignment, or they will do it in part. They will do it their way. They will not do it the way that they, you know, the procedures are, or they were told to do it, what have you. And what's going to end up happening is then when you, the leader, or the person responsible over that, whoever it may be, the pastor, comes to that person and confronts that person and says, hey, you know, what's going on? You didn't do this, you didn't do that, or, you know, I thought you agreed to whatever. You know, I mean, they just won't show up to open the church. They won't show up to teach, or they'll teach late. They'll come late intentionally. Whatever it may be, they'll look to sabotage and create a scandal. Now, it looks a lot of different ways, but they'll blow something up. That's what it really is. It's that fire that's started. Now, you have to take your time, pick up the phone, or set up a meeting or whatever to talk to that person. Now, what's going to end up happening is when you talk to that person, the script is immediately going to be flipped, and now they're going to attack you and say something like, you're always attacking me. Why are you always attacking me? Why is it that every time I do something, you attack me? Don't you trust me? Don't you trust that I can do it? Matter of fact, they'll say something like, you know what? You don't trust me. You don't love me. You let everybody else do this. You let everybody, and they'll say something like, well, you're just a perfectionist. In other words, there's no accountability. They took the responsibility, but there's no accountability. Why? Because the whole purpose in taking it was designed to start a fire. It was designed to start problems, okay? It'll flip and look at you and say, look what you're doing. Look at all the things wrong that you do. How dare you pick this one thing out that I do? You see, this is how this stuff works. So again, they don't like confrontation, and that's what ends up happening when you confront the narcissistic Jezebel. They will immediately look to play innocent me. You're now attacking me, okay? And it could look a lot of different ways. Let me give you another one. Married couple, and the husband. Let's just say, let's use my wife and I, for example. Okay, so we can really just bring this right here to this teaching. Let's just say that I leave the house, sweetheart, at 10 o'clock at night, and I say I'm going to go talk to somebody. Well, now all of a sudden it's 4 or 5 in the morning. Sweetheart, is that odd behavior for me?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird, you know, to go out. And let's just say, you know, now as time's going on, she's worrying, she's concerned. Then she begins to not just worry, get concerned. She may even get mad. You know, how dare I go and do that and not call in and let her know everything's okay, whatever. Okay. So what ends up happening is when the Jezebelic narcissist comes back, and the wife approaches the husband, okay, and says, where were you? What's going on? Immediately, again, now that's drama. Here we go. Here comes the drama. Now all of a sudden we have the craziness, we have the drama, we have the fire, and now it's going to be, why are you picking on me? I'm an adult. I could do whatever I want. You're wrong. You don't trust me. You're wrong for doing this. What, you think I'm out there doing something? What, are you suspicious of what I'm doing? And now, all of a sudden, she now has to take a defensive posture. Where it was just, it's not normal to stay out all night. You're married and you stay out all night. You don't let your spouse know where you're at or what you're doing, or you don't call in if something ran over or whatever. It's now let me punish you for daring. How dare you say something to me about that? You don't control me. I control you. Wow. You see what I'm saying? And again, this is the demonic game, but it's all based on chaos. That's chaos. That's drama. You don't need that in families, but you and I both know there's numerous families. There's tons of families out there that happens. And I'm just giving you, some type of examples. It could be an adult child. Right. It could be adult children who. It
doesn't have to be an adult child.
It could just be a child.
They can, if they're not, and you don't teach them about demons and you have to teach children, because that's where they come in, is usually through as a child. Most of the time, this spirit comes in to children, and you'll have your children now doing the mind games and playing games with you as a parent.
Yeah.
And of course you can you can say, well, I'm going to punish you, or I'm going to spank you, but you're dealing with a spirit, and you have to deal. That spirit has to be cast out. It cannot be tolerated. It can't be, well, they don't know what they're doing. No, that spirit knows exactly what it's doing, because you're not dealing with flesh and blood. You are dealing with a spirit. So although it's in a child, and that child is young, you can't use as an excuse to let that spirit stay there and manipulate you as a parent. And I've seen this so many times, honey, to where a child manipulates parents, and the parents end up being the one, it seems like they're the child, and the child is the parent. So this spirit, and it is a spirit that's in operation, because children are not able to do these kind of things. They're not able to think like the way this spirit will give. I mean, you'll watch a narcissistic child, and they'll outthink you, and then that's not normal. So you have to see, this is a spirit. This is not the child. This is not flesh and blood. This is a spirit, and deal with it as you would deal with a spirit. And an adult, that thing has to go. And you cannot tolerate, like what I said, you cannot be pacify that thing. You can't say, well, they're just a child. They don't know what they're doing. The same thing with a spouse. Well, I know he loves me. Yeah, your husband or wife loves you, but that spirit doesn't. That spirit hates you, and that's why you can't tolerate it, and you must put a stop to it. And of course, and it doesn't want to be stopped now, so it's going to raise up against you when you try to stop it. But you've got to be, like my husband shared with you guys last week, you've got to be determined, like, oh no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do this to me, because it will use children. I've seen this time and time again, and it is ugly when you see a child that is a narcissistic child, and they're manipulating a parent, because the parent is to teach a child, and that's where this thing it flips the switch, it causes the one that should be taught, that one is teaching the one that should be teaching. So it's diabolical.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy, and it doesn't stop with little children. Okay, this continues with your child, who now may be an adult, and they'll use things, again, just some examples here, using let's say it's the grandbaby's birthday, or it's Christmas and it's some holiday or whatever, and you want to see the grandbabies, you want to see your now grown child, and they're supposed to come over for the birthday, or they're supposed to come over for Christmas, or Memorial Day, or some event that you have, something you have planned. Maybe it's a barbecue or whatever. and they say they're going to come, but they don't show up, okay? And everybody's waiting around. You know, this is how this stuff works. And then here's the thing. So now it's caused confusion because people have brought gifts, people have brought food. Maybe they bought a birthday cake for the person. Now the person who has the birthday doesn't even show up. And it's intentionally designed. Now remember, we said that, watch this, we said this in a previous teaching, that the birthplace of a narcissist or a Jezebel spirit is embedded in rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's deeply rooted rejection at a very young age. Okay, and that leads to being susceptible. It doesn't always happen, but you're susceptible to the Jezebel spirit and the narcissistic personality disorder. So now you fast forward, and you know, this is maybe a 25-year-old, 35-year-old, 45 years old, or whatever, but it's your adult child. And now you as an adult say to the adult child, you know, where were you? You didn't show up. How come you didn't come? We were waiting on you, and we had the cake, we had the food out, and we had the plan. You may have said you all were going to the movies together, going bowling, or whatever it may be. Now, but when you inquire, what happens is now all of a sudden a huge argument takes place.
Mm-hmm.
Now it becomes like, well, why are you asking me? Why are you telling me I need to be there? I'm my own person, and this, that, and the other. It's not that you're not your own person, but you know, you could have at least called and said something. This has you in guessing what's going on, and then when you begin to bring that up, now all of a sudden, now they begin to slam you and say, well, you've always done this all my life, and now they want to bring up the past. They want to bring up when they were a teenager. They want to bring up when they were young. You didn't do this. You didn't give them their start. You didn't give them this. You didn't give them that. You didn't love them. You didn't care. You didn't give them money. You didn't send them to college, and all this stuff. Now all of a sudden, bam, 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 bam. And now next thing you know, as a parent, now you're sitting there crying your eyes out. First, you probably may have gotten mad, but now you're crying, and it happens so much, and it's so repetitive to where, watch this, what you end up doing is saying, you know what, I'm done.
Or you end up going and praying. And now you're praying, and you're going to God, and you're like, well, Lord, what did I do? Instead of dealing with that spirit.
Right.
And that's exactly what it wants you to do. Oh, it wants you to go pray. Go pray.
But I like what you said.
Deal.
What did you hear? What she said? What did I do? And that's what this wicked witch spirit Jezebel, this narcissistic personality does, is what did you do? Now all of a sudden you're internalizing saying,
yes.
What did I do? You didn't do anything. Here's the thing, you didn't do anything wrong. You're gonna have to listen to me. You cannot take this on. You cannot play in this theatrical event. You have to say, no, I'm not playing this game. But what it wants you to do is get so frustrated where you say, I'm done. You'll find yourself saying this, I'm not going to say anything anymore. I'm going to be quiet. Now, isn't that control?
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't that control? When somebody does something and has you to where you say, I'm just not going to say anything anymore, that's called control.
Because now you don't deal with it.
Now you don't deal with it. You're avoiding it.
And that's what that spirit
You're avoiding it, and then you become an enabler.
Absolutely.
There you go. You avoid it, and now by avoiding, see, this is why with Jezebel, the narcissist, you have to go right at it. You have to confront this spirit. You have to let the narcissist know, I ain't playing this game. You ain't running this show. I'm not dancing to your song. No, it's not about you.
It wants you to get into your emotions.
Yes.
And when you go and start dealing with, with thoughts and your emotions, it is tiring. It wants to tire you out by you dealing with, well, what did I do, or how did this happen? So you're trying to figure it out, and you got all these emotions going because you got your thoughts going, and you got your imagination is going wild, and that's exactly where it wants you, because you're not going to deal with it, because remember, now you're dealing with you, and you're trying to figure it out. From where was I in this situation? Well, how did I cause this situation? And now it's absolutely escaped any type of confrontation, because now you've won now, and now you're dealing with yourself instead of dealing with it.
Exactly.
It has to be dealt with, and the time and the frustration and the energy needs to be dealt with, casting it out,
there you go.
And not allowing it to have you where you're now in an emotional whirlwind.
There you go.
From what it's done and what it said. Not showing up, and not all kind of things that it does to excite something in you And that's so dangerous, because it will not, it will, through these things, cause you not to deal with it. And that's the trickery.
Exactly.
That's
It's gonna have you sitting in your room crying and pouting. It's gonna have you praying and saying, "What did I do?" You're gonna be praying, saying, "God, show me what I did wrong." You may even pray this prayer, "Lord, show me how to fix this."
Wow.
And you're now trying to fix it. What you're doing, even in your prayer life, is you're now trying to figure it out. Listen to me. This is what the narcissist, the Jezebel, wants. It wants you to sit down and try to figure it out. That's all part of the control, okay? Because you're never going to figure it out. You're not going to figure it out. You're going to constantly come to a conclusion that the narcissist has, as you are the problem, and then you're going to begin to become. You're going to avoid people. You're going to isolate yourself. You're going to ostracize yourself. You're not going to be friendly. You're going to, you may end up actually think they're being very depressed. You may have to start taking medicine. People have contemplated suicide from this thing happening. They've become addicted to drugs and alcohol and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, you have to understand that all of this smoke and mirror, all of this drama, all of this chaos is really designed by the narcissistic personality, the Jezebel. It's designed as the smoke and mirror so that you don't invade their world to find out what the real root problem is in their life. They are hiding behind the drama. They are hiding behind the chaos because they don't want you to see that deep thing, okay? What we have to do here today in this video is at least establish that when you see these things, this firefighting, these dramatic events, these theatrical performances, this chaos, that you understand that this is nothing more than the enemy, the devil's devices. This is the devil's way of doing things. And the Bible tells us that we're not to be ignorant of the devil's devices. Okay, so by you studying this and learning more about this and watching the videos and so on, you'll understand that this is the schemes. See, this is the plot, the trickery, the schemes of the narcissistic Jezebel to bring this chaos and this drama, setting these fires up and all stuff. That's the scheme. That's the plot. But it's designed in the satanic system, the dark world. Okay, it's designed to keep true liberators so people can become free. It's designed to fatigue them.
Right, absolutely.
It's designed, see, you're a solution. I want you to understand it. You are a solution to someone's problem. Okay? But the narcissistic Jezebel, that evil spirit, creates this smoke and mirror so that you never become that you get distracted, and my wife's term was diverted to something else, okay? Diverted to something else. So what I want to do now is we're going to go into a few tactics before we have about 15, 16 more minutes. I want to go into some tactics of this dramatic narcissist, this chaos that they create. One of the tactics is that they tell you one thing but do another, okay? For example, what they'll do to create drama and create chaos is they'll make plans with you, but they won't show up. Again, I use that example as it pertains to adult children. Maybe, hey, yeah, I'm coming over for my birthday, whatever, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. They never show up. It could be a friendship. It could be a church relationship. It could be a marriage, okay? I'm going to take you out on your anniversary. I'm going to take you out on your birthday, sweetheart. I'm going to do this. But it's constantly, I've had this stuff, and I remember when I was young, God bless my mother, love my mother, but my mom played Jezebelic games. She played every Christmas, hear me. She got sick every Christmas. Why? Because every year we were supposed to go over to our cousin's house and have a good time. We were going to get together, wrap presents, and it was always a great time. We did it once, but every Christmas my mom got sick. This is another tactic of the Jezebelic narcissist, is that they are they basically are hypochondriacs. Okay, they will always talk about sickness. They will talk themselves into sickness. They will say they're sick when they're not. They're always saying that something's wrong with them. What that's designed to do is not only create drama and chaos, but it's designed to have all the attention on them. Now it's all about them. Now it's pity me, poor me. Look at me. Look at all the problems I have. I got this going on. I got that going on. I got this. Have you ever asked a person how they're doing, and what they tell you is all they tell you is everything that's wrong with them? Okay? You know, oh my God, I went to the doctor, and the doctor says I got gout. I got a bad back. This is out of joint. I can't see. I got cataracts. I got all this stuff. I got emphysema. I have you know, what, all this, everything. And that's all. And you're looking and saying, oh, that's so sad. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, it's all designed to have you put so much pity towards them and have them become the focus. Okay.
That's it. The focus.
The focus is on them. That's a narcissist. Focus on me. They tell you one thing and do another. For example, a meeting starts at 1. They may show up at 3. Okay. I mean, this is the type of stuff. I'm not talking about being late for a meeting once. I'm not talking about, a mistake. I'm talking about where things are There are people that always do this. They'll show up for meetings. You didn't even invite them to the meeting. You have a meeting, they'll open the door and say, oh, I'm here. And you'll say, like, what are you talking about? They'll say, oh, I thought you said you wanted me to come to the meeting. That's designed to stop your meeting, break everything up. I mean, put yourself in that situation. What does that do? That creates chaos, okay? Another thing, what it does is it gives you information about what everyone else is doing. In other words, it brings intelligence to you about what everybody else is doing, all the problems that exist, but not about themselves. It is what the narcissistic Jezebel does is it creates an offense. The term offense is where we get the word scandalize. It's the Greek word scandalon. Is it creates a scandal. That's what it does. It comes to you and says, did you know so-and-so's doing this? Now again, back to the firefighting. Now all of a sudden, you have to drop everything. Now you're going over here to deal with this. And you'll get there and you'll find out there was never a problem. It was made up. Okay? Because the narcissist will lie. They will lie. They will fabricate. They will make things up. They will conjure up things in order to control and manipulate you. Do you understand it? That's what the Jezebel narcissist does. Okay? It will tell you, be careful of people that tell you that somebody else is talking about you. Okay? Well, you know they're talking about you. And that's, be careful of the person who always says they're seeing everything else. I see what they're doing. I see over here. I heard over there. Ask yourself the question, well, first off, why are they hearing all that? Okay? But all of this, again, is designed to control and manipulate you. Okay? They play the role of the one that's been abused. Again, whether the sickness, they'll cry, they'll pout, pity me, poor me. They will have everyone else thinking that they are being abused by you. They will play the role of the victim and they will trick this spirit. This narcissistic personality is so methodical that it has tricked many, many good people, and people will believe that the one who's right is wrong and the one that's wrong is right. It has them believing that they are being attacked by good people, by good leaders, by good marriages, by good husbands or good wife or whatever. Okay? It tricks people because people play that game. They watch the movie. It's like they paid to go to the box office, they paid the ticket price, and now they're watching the movie and saying, oh my God, oh, Susan is so abused by that person. Oh, did you know that you don't know anything. All you know is what the narcissistic Jezebel told you, or what the narcissistic Jezebel orchestrated for you to see and to hear.
Yes.
Okay? That's all part of the gaslighting technique that's used by the narcissistic Jezebel. I'm going to make you crazy. Okay? I'm going to make you think things. This is why that Jezebel spirit is a master illusionist.
Mm-hmm.
It will have you think things appear a certain way, and they don't. Again, it's the smoke and mirrors. She uses trapdoors. Again, I said this earlier. She is a shape shifter. Okay? She is able to disguise herself. What does the Bible say? Doesn't the Bible say that even Satan can come as an angel of light?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
That he can transform himself into an angel of light. Mm-hmm. See, many people have thought that which is good is right. But just because something is good doesn't mean it's right. Right is right. Good is not always right.
Well, Jesus said there's only one good, and that's the Father.
That's exactly right.
So thinking that something is a good work or that's a good person, according to the Word of God, there's only one good,
yes.
and that's God.
Yes.
So, and all the things we do, all the righteousness that we think we have, is as filthy rags, because we have to receive His righteousness.
Yes.
And this is what this narcissistic spirit, it wants you to do things that seem righteous, seem the good things to do, and it will always point to you should do this and you shouldn't do that. And meanwhile, while it's doing nothing that's like God at all, but it will point out things to you, and that's another one of its tactics. It will point out things. Well, this is a good thing you should be doing, but that is never for the purpose of pleasing God. It is always for the purpose of them getting some type of accolade from it. Because then later, if you find yourself doing something, not necessarily what God told you to do, but you're doing it because you're trying to please them, then you look at that thing that you thought was a good thing, that they insisted was good, but it wasn't a good, and then they take the credit of saying, well, you did that because I told you to do that. If it wasn't for me steering you that way, then you never would. That's a tactic. Mm-hmm. We don't steer people to do things so that we can get some kind of position or kind of some kind of well, I'm appearing like that. I'm the one that they need to rely on. No, we rely on the Holy Spirit to lead and guide us. But they will point to things and say that's a good thing to do. And it's not, has nothing to do with God.
That's right. Here's another tactic that the narcissistic Jezebel will use: silent treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Silent treatment. I'm not going to talk to you. It can be the silent treatment where they're there and don't talk, or it can be the silent treatment where they're not there. In other words, they're absent. Absent without leave. Absent from your life. They were there, but now they're not there. Okay? Mm-hmm. They were supposed to be there, but they haven't showed up for weeks or months or whatever. They will go literally months without any. Bottom line is there's no communication. It's that push-pull technique. I was talking to you, now I'm not, so I pull back. Okay, it's designed to control. Okay, and what it will have you doing is it'll have you dig. It's called digging. You're now digging to find out what's wrong. What you're going to end up doing is calling people, trying to call a person. I've had this happen to me where I began to dig, calling people, texting people, emailing people, trying to find out what's wrong because they withdrew. They pulled back. They gave me the silent treatment, and you go on this. It's like you go down on this hunt to try to find a solution, to try to find an answer. But the narcissistic Jezebel, the one that's bound by Jezebel, doesn't want you to find a solution. Remember, to Jezebel there is no solution. To the narcissist, it's not about a solution. It's not about reconciliation. It's not about restitution. It's not about reconstructing. It's not about repentance. That's not what the narcissistic Jezebel does. It's not about that. What it is about, it's about control, manipulation, domination, and intimidation. It's all about witchcraft. Also, okay. Lastly, the another tactic is lies. You'll see this in the book of 1 Kings chapter number 21, where Jezebel lied. What did she lie to do? She lied about Naboth's vineyard, right? She said, hey, the king sent his word. Remember, she put the seal on the letter and says, the king says this. He never said any of that. Proclaim a fast, okay? She lied. She said that this man Naboth, he speaks blasphemies against the king and against God. And she had what? She had that man killed, okay? So Jezebel, the narcissist, will lie. Doing what? Manufacture things. Okay? Say things that just simply are not true. What you have to do when the narcissistic person and the Jezebel spirit bound person is found out, you have to say, you know what? Where you have no facts, and have a witness there. Have witnesses there, because they will not deal with the facts. What they will do is they will. I've had this happen. I've called meetings with people that have been narcissistic Jezebels, and they bring nothing to the table. Nothing. My wife knows that. I can think of different meetings that we've had. I had one who just lit up and threw papers and everything and just ran out the building because they cannot take the truth. Because to the narcissist, to the Jezebel, truth can never come out. Did you hear what I just said? Truth cannot come out. Truth about the Word of God, truth about who they really are, okay? Truth about what they've been doing. This spirit will always create a false narrative that something happened, but it didn't happen like that. It didn't happen like that. So what do you do? What do you do when this happens? What do you do when there's chaos? What do you do when there's an explosion? What do you do when all this drama, these drama queens show up in your life? Okay, these dramatic events show up in your life. Well, pretty simple. Don't take the bait.
All right, that's true.
Don't take the bait. Nothing's going to happen unless you go down the rabbit hole. Now, if you follow them down the rabbit hole that they're leading you, yeah, now you're a player in the movie. Okay? Don't get lured into that drama. Okay? We are speaking to you out of the anointing of God and experience. Experience. Do not go down that rabbit hole. What you need, listen, Jezebel wants to steal your peace.
And also steal your time. Also steal your time. And you'll find yourself where you have spent so much time doing something, trying to put out a fire, trying to make things right. And and I'm telling you, these things are just not things that are made up. These are things that they will take factual things. They will not take care of things and have you feel responsible to take care of it. And then your time, which is your life, is stolen. Right. So it's so important. Your peace, your time is very valuable. Don't let it be stolen by the spirit.
Yeah. I'm looking to see if we have any questions tonight. Here's one. Is it always a spirit of oppression to have that type of personality, or can it be of the flesh also? I believe it certainly could be and is of the flesh. Okay? I believe that the flesh is really what opens the door for the spirit of Jezebel to enter into a person, and of course for the narcissistic personality disorder to take root in a person's life.
And then also the fact, if you become oppressed by the spirit, you have to be really, mindful that it's trying to draw you into it. So then you'll find yourself, you'll be operating in that spirit instead of dealing with it. Now you're now doing what it has done to you. So it's actually lured you in through the oppression. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a good point.
That's a good point, good question. And we're not to be oppressed. Anytime you're oppressed, again, remember, Jesus came and healed all that were oppressed by the devil.
That's right.
The word oppressed means a heavy weight. It's like heavy weight on you. And again, that it's a great point. This is what this spirit does. This is what the narcissist does. Puts a heavy weight on you. Right. We've all experienced being, attacked by Jezebel or a Jezebelically bound person, a narcissist. Somewhere along the line, if you lived any amount of time, on this earth, you've crossed paths. Perhaps you even have found some of these traits in you. Okay, as I've been studying this thing and as we've been going down this, there's some things that I've looked at and said, you better be careful. You don't want to go there because things can blossom into a narcissistic personality, or you can open the door to a Jezebel spirit. Anybody, no one is exempt from this. Like my wife said, this is a gender-neutral spirit. It's not only in women, it's in men, it's in children, it's in, it doesn't matter. It's indiscriminate. But what you have to do is you have to get equipped and understand how this spirit operates, okay?
And what is it trying to do?
And what is it trying to do?
What is it trying to do?
Okay?
What is it trying to get you to do?
Right. Well, we know, and again, in closing, we know this. It's trying to control you.
Absolutely.
That's what this is all about.
Absolutely.
To Jezebel and to the narcissist. At the end of the day, aside from everything else, it is designed to control you. When you're controlled, you will not do what you need to do in life. You will be very disappointed. You will not have a good life. Bottom line, you will not have a good life. You need to fight this thing. You need to contend with it. You don't fight flesh and blood. You fight it by the Spirit of God. And to the point made earlier, you don't try to pray these things out. You cast this out. This is a wicked spirit. Amen.
Absolutely. Praise
God. Well, listen, we want to thank you guys for joining us here tonight on our Wednesday night time of equipping. For those of you that are on go-to training here tonight, you can follow the link, or you can go to our website, summersministries.com. We appreciate your giving. We need your giving. We need your giving so that we can continue to bring videos and go out and travel, preach the kingdom, continue to equip you. Without your giving, without your gifts of love, it's certainly going to make it very difficult to do that. Also, those of you on YouTube, right over there, you're going to see a support button. Click the support button. You click that support button, and any amount that you would like to help this channel with to keep it going and to keep videos coming and do some other things, we certainly appreciate it. Or you could go to our website, again, summersministries.com, and click on the Donate Now button, and you can give a donation of any amount as you are led. We certainly want to thank you. Please share this video to others. Subscribe to our channel. Like us on Facebook. And again, we look forward to bringing you many, many more. I love your comments that we're seeing on YouTube. Hundreds and hundreds of comments. People from New Zealand, and United Kingdom are listening all around the United States. So we're very thankful. Okay. Any parting words, Ware?
Yes, and join us for our 11 o'clock Sunday service online, and we'll be actually doing services physically at our Columbus location. So join us for services Sunday morning at 11 o'clock a.m.
Sunday morning at 11.
Eastern time.
Eastern time. Go to our website for the address. We'd love to see you there. Okay? All right. Until next time, I'm Apostle Robert Summers. My wife, Dixie Summers. And we love you guys, and we'll see you soon. God bless you, and good night.
Good night.